Hello Anonymous. In this news update I will be explaining and discussing WikiLeaks and Anonymous's involvement in the campaign for free speech. Please keep in mind that my report is not entirely reliable and may be edited in the future to correct errors in my information or to better represent the truth. WikiLeaks is a whistleblowing news site that releases previously unreleased documents about governments and corporations, much of which is unfavorable in the public eyes. WikiLeaks was launched on October 4 in 2006 and has since released an uncountable number of documents. WikiLeaks was pushed to public knowledge when they released a secret 32-page U.S. Department of Defense document reporting counterintelligence. This document was written in March 2008 and discusses the leaking of reports to WikiLeaks and how information WikiLeaks could be deterred or discredited. In April 2010, WikiLeaks posted a video from a 2007 incident in which Iraqi journalists and civilians were killed by U.S. forces. The video, to my knowledge, has since been removed from the site, but I will provide links to copies of the video on YouTube. This video shows how the war in Iraq is being handled and how the truth is being suppressed. By removing war critics in and from Iraq, the U.S. government is free to lie about how the war is progressing in Iraq with no opposing view. Those seen around the journalists in the video are simply collateral damage, a damage that was made when an airstrike was called down upon the journalists. Later that year in July, WikiLeaks released the Afghan War Diary, a compilation of more than 9,100 documents about the war in Afghanistan, which was not previously available to the public. The diary is a collection of U.S. military logs of the war in Afghanistan. Most of the documents are classified secret and cover most of the period between the start of 2004 and the end of 2009. The document inside pertains to information on the deaths of civilians, increased Taliban attacks, and involvement by Pakistan and the insurgency. These documents were verified by other sources when compared to independent reports. These are just but a few reports that pale in comparison to what WikiLeaks has released, and even to what WikiLeaks has released pales in comparison to what they have yet to release. In an attempt to stop WikiLeaks, the U.S. government, among other governments, have attempted to discredit, silence, or to shut down WikiLeaks by smearing the company, calling workers and supporters rapists, terrorists, and immoral bigots who endanger lives. They have threatened banks and payment companies to stop funding WikiLeaks under threat of the government. They forced internet service providers to take down the main WikiLeaks website. WikiLeaks spokesman Julian Assange has been charged with rape, and U.S. politicians such as Sarah Palin, among more, have called for Assange's illegal assassination. Furthermore, Bradley Manning, a suspected whistleblower to WikiLeaks, has been imprisoned for over 7 months without trial. He is suspected of leaking the majority of the leaks to WikiLeaks, but so far there is no evidence to support this. In his imprisonment he is held in solitary confinement with limited visitation rights. Imprisonment like this is mental torture and is breaking down Manning's mind until he reaches insanity. Unless Manning confesses, regardless if he is the whistleblower or not, he will likely develop psychotic major depression. Hallucinations are likely to follow after this, followed by schizophrenia. With his imprisonment, Manning's right to trial has been taken away. Confession or not, it is likely Manning will spend many years of his life unjustly placed in prison unless someone intervenes. News from Twitter informs us that the FBI has attempted to pry into the personal information of Julian Assange, Bradley Manning, others, and even anonymous members, by using a government warrant. The attempt had failed when Twitter had taken the FBI warrant to trial, and the warrant was overturned. While applauding Twitter for standing up for our privacy, this news informs us that the U.S. government is pressuring websites such as Facebook, YouTube, Blogger, Google, and others like them to release personal information about their members in hopes to convict critics and journalists and prevent further government embarrassment. For this reason, I would like to encourage people who criticize the government to protect their privacy and remove their personal information from such websites. Anonymous's actions over the WikiLeaks matter have been in support of the freedom of information. When the WikiLeaks website was taken down, Anonymous had spawned numerous mirror sites to prevent the information from being removed. The mirror websites are easily accessible, as is the information on them, and can still be viewed by the general public. When banks cut funding to WikiLeaks, Anonymous protested by using distributed denial-of-service tactics on bank websites for a few to several days. This rendered bank websites inaccessible, yet bank services remained unaffected. This online protest was only a small demonstration of Anonymous's power. The event was largely unnoticed until the media picked it up, calling it a cyber-terrorist attack by both the media and banks, yet the event was hardly terrifying for anyone, aside from bankers, I assume. Recently, within the last month, a video that went viral from an Anonymous member called for a world protest in the public in support for WikiLeaks and the freedom of information. The protest was held across the world on January 15 in many major cities, helping WikiLeaks and the freedom of information gain support. Largely successful in Europe, Australia, and Canada, this protest informed the public of government actions upon WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, Bradley Manning, and government critics. Protests in the US were not as successful since protests were not widely covered in the news, but the information has been spread about, and future protests, hopefully, will gain more interest. We will soon let the government know it will not hold us back. Knowledge is free. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.